bringing up boys. I've got 2 black boys in South London. You need your community, you need people around you.
The lost journey is very nuanced to everybody. I didn't go to church for the longest time. It was too hard to go to church. I just couldn't be in the presence because, again, I was doing all of my prayers. I did the prayers on the Wednesday with the water. I did everything. So I was like, God, like, how are you even allowing this to even be my reality?
This advice is going to be a bit... Because what I'm going to say is, take everyone's advice with a pinch of salt.
It depends on like the gestation. People say, oh, if it's before 24 weeks and you don't really know the baby, and then if it's after. So people always try and quantify loss. A loss is a loss, no matter the gestation. Like,
welcome everyone. This is the Way Up podcast where we discuss journeys of faith and steps towards the top. I'm Sarah.
I'm Anna.
Hi, I'm Clo. I am a mum of 2 and I am the co-founder of 5 Times More, a maternal health organisation that supports Black women during the pregnancy stage.
Hi, I am Shay. This is a bit of a loaded one because I'm not as well esteemed as Miss Clo here. But I'm Shay, mum of 3. I have 2 kids, Earthside, and I have an angel baby, Iano. And what I do a lot of volunteering for different charities and organisations in the baby loss space. And I've recently just ventured into, I won't call it an organisation, I think it's just something where I'm trying to share my story. And it's called You Are Loved, I3. So that's what I do. It's just sharing my story, my journey around the baby loss and the redemption and restoration of my journey, essentially.
Today we've linked our guests with the Bible passage, Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10, which reads, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness."
Icebreaker is, do you have any characters within the Bible that you relate to or you admire?
Solomon. Yeah. I just think he's so wise. I think when you read Proverbs, the whole Proverbs, and I can't say this properly, Ecclesiastics.
Ecclesiastics, yeah.
Those 2, it's like, wow, it's a must.
The first person that comes to my mind is Job. In particular for my personal journey, I think with some of the things that we'll probably go into today, the story of Job and how he lost everything and the story of redemption and him finding God and that relationship is kind of something that I hold quite dearly to my heart, and I revisit it quite a bit in terms of how I draw strength from his character.
Let's get into how you both met.
The story.
Okay, so we actually went uni in Bristol, went to 2 different unis in Bristol, and then the shepherd of the church in Bristol's wife is my mum's good friend. So I started going to Bristol, Paris, and then that's when I met Shay.
Yeah, so I was in Bristol for uni, and then we went to the same church, essentially.
Yeah. And then we actually lost contact, and then when Shay went through her loss, somehow, how did you meet me through the loss?
I DM'd you. So I don't know. I think I was just on Instagram one day, and it's just one of those things where you come across something. I was like, I know that girl. That face looks familiar. But you know how like you've lost contact with someone, you don't really want to reach out again because I'm like, we haven't spoken in years. It would be weird for me to.
That's not why, because of the work I do.
Yeah, well, because of the work I did, yeah. So then I went for the... No, but that's what I'm saying. But it's like, I haven't spoken to her in years. I was getting there. And then you get this person like sliding into my DMs, because, I'm doing this and that's the only reason why you're reaching out. But I was like, hey, like, I'm sure, why not? Exactly. So I slid into her DMs.
She did. And then reached out. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. And then went to a baby loss event for Mother's Day together.
Yeah.
And then since then, I can't get rid of her.
Yeah, she can't. But yeah, essentially that's how we reconnected. And I think that's almost a testament to like journeys and friendships, because you lose contacts and in times of need, it doesn't matter how long or how deep your friendship is, just being able to reach out to Clo, and then she came to like one of the most vulnerable events with me. I will forever be grateful for that, because I could have gone with my sisters and stuff, but she was there and it was quite supportive. So she's been my rock since then. So yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So Do you feel like God has really had a part in you guys both meeting, and I guess that journey that you're both on in terms of creating your businesses or, you know, charities? So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think in terms of us meeting, it had to be done. I think especially the work that she does with baby loss, I want to do work within the baby loss space, but I just don't have capacity. So through Shay, I feel like I can kind of push her to do certain things. And she's like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, Shay, please, let's do this. And I feel like I do motivate her to carry on and to not give up on her dreams. And I hope, because it does get tiring. And then in terms of 5 times more, how we started, my co-founder, she had a vision. She actually had a dream. We never talk about this bit, but she had a vision of, she wanted us to just raise awareness that Black women die in pregnancy. And then, so it was supposed to be a one-off event. And then she had a dream that said, you could be doing more. And then that's when we're like, okay, let's do more. What can we do? And we started lobbying the government, etc. But first it was supposed to be a one-off event, and until she had that dream, and then we just carried on. And for me, God has opened so many doors for us, because the things that we do, and in the time space that we've done it can only be good.
Yeah. I think for me, I think Chloe hit the nail on the head in terms of us reconnecting and the things that I want to do. I'm like, no, I really don't want to do it. But I think the uniqueness of our journey is when we do speak to each other, we always have God at the center. And I think that's really important around having godly people around you, because I think oftentimes there's a lot of clout chasing. Whereas if you kind of remember the vision and saying like, I'm not doing this for my purpose, I'm doing this because God has instilled it in me, or there's a reason why, or there's a message in the mess sort of thing. And we always remind each other of like, no matter how hard it gets, because we serve an almighty God, he will carry you through. So that verse that you shared at the beginning is almost paramount and very key or amp to what we try and do. And I think Chloe mentioned it quite a bit at this, when she was talking, like there are days when I don't want to do this. Like who wants to keep talking about the baby that died or lost? But when you remember the greater good around it, it's important. So God has definitely kept me through in the dark days or the sad days. It's like, no, I'm a child of light. You have to keep going, and having friends that remind you of that's important.
We want to go on to positive experiences that you've had on this journey. Just any one or two, but just, you know, tell us like, how has it been, you know, running this charity, you know, having 5 times more.
It's been hard.
Let's start with positive.
No, I was gonna get it. It's been hard, but I just like what Shay said. I think when you focus and keep your eye on God, you can get through it. But then the positive actually is the kind of changes we're able to make. So because of our campaign, Labour said they were going power and put a target to Black women dying in pregnancy. So for us, that's one of the biggest things. The reports that we've done. So we launched our second report recently. Even the women that we're supporting, the women that we're helping, I can even say Shay, the fact that we reconnected and I was able to help her get the support that she needed. So through our campaign, we've definitely been able to help a lot. But not saying they're negative, but you have to keep your eye on God to keep going, because this charity work doesn't pay. And some people are very ungrateful when you support them. So yeah, you have to remember why you're doing what you're doing. That's what keeps us going. And
I mean, mine's not really a charity. Maybe you've
It's
spoken,
getting there.
yeah, maybe
It's
you've spoken
getting there.
into existence, but it's just literally just me sharing my journey. And the positive aspect for me is when you share it and somebody comes back and says, "Oh, that was really helpful." I don't do it because of that. I just do it because somebody somewhere will hear it and be like, "Oh, okay," like draw strength from the fact that I was in a really, really dark space. And through the grace of God, I'm better, you know, and it's not saying that to say that the grief journey gets easier. It's just I found better coping mechanisms. So a couple months back in one of the Befriender sessions that I was doing, a lady came back and she was like, "Oh, I bought the book that you recommended, and, you know, just seeing and hearing you like 4 years into your journey, it's given me hope that this dark phase will eventually come to pass and there's brighter days ahead." And that, I was like, I came off of like that Befriender meeting thinking, this is the why, you know, this is the reason, this is the positive impact that you have. And also to share like a second kind of positive story is with the work that Clo does, there's a lot of self-advocacy that I learned that in my rainbow journey, I was able to educate myself and advocate for myself and have a better birthing experience, you know? So
Let people know what rainbow journey is.
so
They
a
might not
rainbow
know.
journey is so in the baby loss space, once you've had a baby that's passed away, the baby that you have after is called a rainbow baby. So you know the rainbow that comes after a storm, and the baby before that's a sunshine baby, which I didn't know. So I have a sunshine baby, I have an angel baby, and I have a rainbow baby.
I was going to add one more thing as well. Another positive is in the baby loss space, there's a week that's called Baby Loss Awareness Week. And it's very negative, it's very draining, and it's all about kind of being very negative about the baby that you lost. And one of Shay's friends reached out to her and said, you know, I want to celebrate the fact that I'm pregnant again. Because if you have a baby, if you lost a baby, you're pregnant again, they don't value you no more. In that space, some of them see it as, well, you're pregnant again, or you have another baby, you can't really be in our space. So I remember Shay reached out to me and said, you know, can we put on a branch for women who are pregnant or had a baby after a loss? And then we put it on, and the women there were very grateful because they never felt included within the week, even though they are part of that week.
And there's just so many nuances to it,
Oh, yeah.
because I remember my first baby loss, my son was born, and I hid him. I literally just put him in one of those graves, and I was like, because I really want to honor or remember my baby that passed away, but I also want to set it like I can't leave him at home. He was like so young, so it's just about the nuances along the journey. So again, having the likes of Clo in the space and just being able to reach out to other mums that probably are experiencing the same type of feeling or feeling misplaced or displaced. It's almost like, no, we're all welcomed and creating that safe space for everybody. And actually there's another Rainbow Baby Week coming up. Yeah, so August 16th to the 22nd. And again, we're doing like another branch. Hey, mums, like you can bring your babies, because oftentimes it's triggering when you've just lost a child, seeing another baby, and it's understandable, like because you're at different phases and different stages. So it's almost being aware that I was once upon a time there, but although I'm not there anymore, there may be mums that maybe. So it's just, it's just seeing things from different perspectives and just creating those avenues for everyone to have an opportunity to be seen, no matter where you are.
Yeah, I think what you both do is really important, and I say so because I remember a few years ago, some barristers shared a report about, black maternal deaths, and it's so interesting because they're discussing that in a legal space. They're looking at, reports, reading stuff like that. But there's only so much they can do. They actually need other people, as much as they can be advocates, as in barristers, solicitors. They actually need other people to actually get to the nitty-gritty and actually make a change. Because you may have teachers, you may have any kind of profession, but we're also mothers, you know? So it's that consistency and people actually, I guess, working and building that little area that benefits every person. So it's just so interesting how you can come from any sphere of life, but it will still affect you in one way or the other.
So I wanted to go into, I guess, your motherhood for you and how it's all sort of been affected by what you do and, the experiences that you hear from others. Like, how does that affect how you as a mother,
Do you want to go first on this one?
So the question is, how what we do impacts our motherhood journey. I think that's really interesting because, as I mentioned, I have my first daughter. And you're naive when you have your first kid, like, oh yeah, it's fine. And you give birth. Yes, it was rough because I had high blood pressure, whatever it is. And then when I lost Iyanu, I was like, this is a reality. Like, this happens to people. And then when I had my third child, I think it made me a lot more grateful. Like, some people don't, I didn't come home with a baby the second time. So the hard nights, do you know the first, I'm sure we all remember those first couple of weeks of it's rough. You're in the ghetto of, well, maybe not in the ghetto, but the hormones all over the place. But despite those hard days, I was like, I'm grateful, God. It's gonna get through. I'm gonna get through it because there are some people out there that don't have this joy. And my new thing is joy and grief can coexist. Yes, while I was so sad that I missed this with my daughter, I was also equally as grateful. The fact that I was then able to bring a live child, a child that's living, to the world. And even in the work that I do, it allows me to have a bit more empathy. I don't like saying sympathy because as a lost mum, you don't want sympathy. I just want empathy. I just want people to understand my perspective. So it allows me to have a lot more empathy for people that may be on their infertility journey, that they don't have the ability to bring kids to the world, or they've had 8 or 9 miscarriages. Like, you meet so many people from different walks of life that it almost allows you to like understand, or like the days when I'm at work and I'm like, oh, I've got to do this for the kids. I'm like, no, I've got to be grateful for that because some people are dying to be mothers. So I think that's made me a bit more of a grateful mum. So when it's the hard days, because motherhood gets hard, right? It gets rough. I try and not dwell on the roughness of motherhood and just be grateful, because I know it's like a burning desire for many people. And I always pray, like, God, the joy that I'm experiencing, those that would love to experience this joy, please allow them to, experience that, and just use my journey as a point of reference for other people that might be on that infertility journey or looking to bring a child to this world.
Yeah, I think because my kids are much more older, when I started doing this work, my kids, like I said, they're a bit older. So I don't really think it's affected me too much. I think, like what you said, I'm very grateful. And I'm mindful the language I use. I was going to go back to what you said. I'm very grateful the language I use. So like times where it's half term or summer holiday, I no longer say, the kids are draining or a burden. I'm more mindful what I say now. I'm like, okay, it's summer holiday. What am I going to do with my kids? Where before I bring them to summer camp so I can be resting. I'm more grateful and I want to spend more time with them because, like I said, they're growing. And yeah, so that's the kind of thing I'm doing. Like, I'm alive, my kids are alive, let's make the most of it, kind of thing.
Time moves fast when they're young for a short while.
I think going back to the one word you both used, and that's grateful, and I really appreciate that. And I say so because I remember I was watching a podcast, and these two mothers were speaking, and they're actually mothers of large families. And one thing that they mentioned was that people don't acknowledge that, okay, I guess let me bring it to larger families. People don't acknowledge that sometimes people have miscarriages.
Yeah.
And people don't, it's like they just don't care. They just think because you have a larger family, because you've, suffered a baby loss, it doesn't matter. It's like, wait, hold on. How can you determine what matters to me or what doesn't matter to me, kind of thing. But what I really want from you is if you could kind of delve into that area a bit more, just so we can discuss it, if you don't mind. And how God really pushed you through. How were you actually able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, as they say?
I always say it's God in therapy. That's the honest truth, like how I got through. And it's interesting because I was having this discussion with my brother-in-law like literally 3 or 4 days ago around like parenting after loss. And I oftentimes use present tense. I'm like, I have 3 kids. And he'd be like, no, but you have 2. Like, so we would like debate and like, no, but I have 3 because every day, if I'm putting my kids into the car, I'm like, oh, I wonder what she would have looked like. I wonder what she would. So in my mind, it's very present. And it's just, that's my reality. So when, how many kids you had? Again, it depends on circumstance and who I'm talking to, if I'm at work, if I can really be bothered to go into explaining it or not. But most times, people that are close to me would know that I would always introduce myself. Oh, I've got 3 kids, 2 earthside and 1 in heaven. And I say that to say that the loss journey is very nuanced to everybody. And I think in our Black communities, there's just I think it's nuanced in every community, right? So for example, I was at work and I'm very vocal in terms of like being able to like talk about coming back to work and after bereavement, how you support your colleagues. And I was talking to one of my colleagues and she's in Asia. She was a Chinese lady and she's like, oh, by the way, I saw that you were doing this talk and, oh, I also had a loss and all of those things. And then I was like, oh my God, we're doing this talk, would you join us? And then she was like, no, it's fine. And then she just didn't talk about it. And then since then, I think it took about a month. I would like ping her on Teams and she just wouldn't talk to me because I feel like I was able to like open this vulnerability, but then she was like, I haven't spoken about it for years, don't. So to answer your question in terms of how I got through it, I'm pretty much a talker. And I would always try and speak about the vulnerabilities. I didn't go to church for the longest time. It was too hard to go to church. I just couldn't be in the presence because, again, I was doing all of my prayers. I did the prayers on the Wednesday with the water. I did everything. So I was like, God, like, how are you even allowing this to even be my reality? And then through therapy, through praying, through like the support of family, my shepherd was by far phenomenal. Like, he would send me messages, he would send me Bible verses. I did a lot of like Bible reading caps around like grief and God. And then I got to a place where I was like, how do I link this to my purpose? And going back to my our shepherd in Bristol, I remember I always used to be like, what is my purpose in life? And even before my loss, I always knew I was there to help people. Like, you know, in the Bible, when it talks about the helpers, visionaries, all that. So mine has always been a helper. So I was like, oh, like maybe this is pushing me closer to my purpose. And how do I help people? How do I allow people to feel comfortable and be vulnerable and be okay to talk about these things? So again, linking back to the question about miscarriage, we've spoken around where it depends on like the gestation. People say, oh, if it's before 24 weeks and you don't really know the baby, and then if it's after. So people always try and quantify loss. A loss is a loss, no matter the gestation. Like, the mother had plans for that baby, no matter how I'm pregnant, and the excitement, and you already think, you know how we do, we're already like, you know what I mean? Like, we're 5-6 years ahead, like, oh, this baby's going to do all of those things. So it's difficult, but I always encourage people to find those that you're most comfortable with to explore that, but also people that are in your community. Like, always kind of be emotionally in tune with those that are around you. Like, are you okay talking about it? What's your child's name? Don't shy away from the topic, because shying away from it is more painful than just ignoring it, right? And I'm so grateful that I have people around me that I could share, like, oh, by the way, when we're talking about the number of kids or the number of grandkids we've got in the family, you guys keep missing out Iyanu, but that's kind of painful. So even if I couldn't advocate for myself, my sisters would do it. So when we're all in the family, oh, by the way, we need to add her in, or mum's got this amount of grandchildren. So it was good that I had people in my circle that I could share my true perspective with. And then when that situation happens, then they will advocate for me to some extent. So that was also quite supportive of how I came out and saw the light at the end of it. But again, God and therapy is definitely...
I was going to say, it's that acknowledgement, isn't it? Just acknowledging what's happened. I think when you talk about a loss, I've gone through miscarriages, and you might be in a conversation and you say, yeah, I had a miscarriage. No one talks. It goes silent.
No one knows what to do.
And then you're just like...
I'm so sorry for your loss. It's as simple as that.
That's
I'm so sorry for your loss. Like, would you mind delving in? Do you mind talking about it? And the person, oh, no. Oh, yeah, well... Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like being emotionally intelligent and just and do you know how like you have people like, oh, how are you? When you ask that question, like, genuinely, like, be prepared for the response and don't just go silent. I'm having a really bad day today. Oh, I'm really sorry for that. Is there anything I can do to support you? It's just as simple as that. Like, oh, how are you? I'm having a bad day. Oh, is it?
No,
Do
people...
you know what I mean? Like, it's just awkward. Like, no, you asked me a question, I'm giving you my answer, and then you go quiet. So again, like, and I have found that sometimes, or even in this space, like, the people that are around you are the ones that often don't support you. And then you've got this like lost community where we're lost mamas, and you can find more support from them because they get it versus those that are closest to you. And I don't think that's necessarily fair, although it's reality. But
because no one knows what to say.
Yeah, but why?
Some people say, oh, you're young, you can have more children. Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, there's so many
things.
At
least you got children. Or at least you know you can get pregnant. Just saying, I'd rather say nothing. That one, just say nothing at this point. No one knows what to say.
Yeah.
Just even like on saying that, what I actually wanted to ask you is, as a friend, as a sister, you know, how would you kind of navigate someone who's gone through that, who doesn't want to speak about it? Because obviously you're courageous. You kind of, you know, dealt with it in your way.
Yeah.
Not dealt with it in your way. Let me put it as that. But you're bold enough to come out and talk and even help other people. But how would you deal with someone who actually just, I just don't want to speak about this?
Just have to let it be. You have to let it be. Send them all the information you can. So there's loads of resources you can send them and support. If they don't want to talk about it, don't talk about it. If they say they have 2 children when they have 3, just say 2. Just do as they
follow
please.
The lead,
yeah, literally. As much as you want to say something, you just have to let it go.
I agree. but then playing devil's advocate, am I allowed to say devil's advocate? You know the terminology. You know what I mean? Like, it's just on the flip side of things, I equally do think that there is no one size fits all, right?
Yeah,
So then
depends.
that if, for example, as you said, if you're sending information, some people, oh my God, why is she sending me information for? It's almost like you can never get it right. Yeah. So that's why I always say it's always important to be emotionally in tune with the person that you're dealing with. Like, I've got my sisters around me, they know me so well that when I didn't want to talk about it, or my best friends, okay, Shay's not in her talking mode. It's unlike Shay. Why is Shay not talking, sort of thing? Then they were like, okay, Shay, like, what is it? Oh yeah, talk. We know you want to talk. Just start talking. So they want. So for me, they knew that Shay's. It's not usual for Shay to be silent. Whereas if you've got someone that's a quiet person and they're acting within that, then that's also okay. But we also need to be conscious that after a loss, you're a completely different person. Yeah. So you almost need to relearn that person, just be inquisitive and follow their lead, because one day they might not want to talk and then they ignore you. Mm-hmm. And then the next day they might be able to. So it's not like, oh, I asked her how she was and she said nothing. 3 months later, she might be in a different space. So it's just that continuous, like, genuine care for that person and just follow their lead each way, right? So
and put your feeling aside. It's not about you. It's about them.
It's about, exactly.
Just put your feeling aside. If they don't want to listen to you today, but tomorrow they do, it's not about you.
Exactly.
You don't know how they feel. Just put, you know what I mean? Follow their lead.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you, I just have to keep saying, if you don't mind me asking, if you don't mind, do you feel like having your third baby kind of helped you heal, so to speak?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think I deal with... I think no, because I always wanted more than 3 kids. So now I'm always debating whether I want another one or not. So no, because a rainbow baby never replaces the baby that you lost. And because they're different genders, I had a girl and then a boy. So now I'm like, oh, well, my kids need a sister or my kids need a brother. So I'm always debating it. So no in that regards. And I think in general, when you do speak to lost mums, most lost mums will say, my rainbow baby doesn't replace the baby that I lost. They've got a different name. They had a different time frame. I was in a different space. But yes, in the sense that I think it goes back to the gratitude. I was grateful that I could have another baby, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I think that's, it doesn't replace it. He will never replace it. Even if I was to have a girl, or if I was to go on to have more children, she will forever be the second child. You know what I mean? She will forever be there. So yeah, I do think it may have helped with the grief journey a little bit, but again, I think I was already in that healing journey with God and therapy, and there's a lot of like other things that happen on the pregnancy after loss journey, but I would lean more to no versus yes.
How would you say, community has played a part in both of your journeys in motherhood, having boys, I guess their upbringing, their growing, and then even not just the loss, but like just in general, the work you do? How would you say community has played a part in just your lives, both from giving and receiving?
Okay, so I'm from a big family, just like you.
Yeah.
I got 7 siblings, so we are really, really close. My mum has 13 grandchildren.
Wow.
So I think my kids are in the middle somewhere. I don't know what number they are. So for me, community plays a huge part, especially going back to uni, working, childcare, and I do think it's important. I think now, I must say, community doesn't play a lot of part. Community in terms of family, I think more now is more. My friends have become my family, my community, people like Shay. But before, bringing up boys, I've got 2 black boys in South London. You need your community. You need people around you. I talk to a lot of men who are mentors and listen to their stories of growing up and the things that help them to stay off the streets. So that's what's helping me to kind of bring up my boys. So it's no longer my family, but it's the friends that I have around you and the mentors that I see online. And I don't want to say slide in their DMs, but I message them and I'll be like, oh, I love what you do. I've got 2 boys. How can you support how can I support my boys to make sure they're not on the street? And I ask everyone. I remember I was talking to a barrister. I was at a law firm event, and he told me he had 2 kids. I was like, oh, so how is it bringing up your children? I always ask people because I don't want to get it wrong. I really don't want to get it wrong. So I'm always asking people for advice that I meet.
Similar. I've got 7 siblings as well. So I'm one of 8. Grandchildren wise,
How many days?
Last time we counted, we were at 20 something.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys need to take family photos.
Yeah, we did. We actually did it for my mom's 70th birthday, and I don't remember. I should remember because we literally counted on my mom's birthday in July. We was at 20 something. I don't remember, but it's 20. It's a lot. It's a lot, and Christmas is like crazy. So
I love that.
yeah, it's amazing, and like that's part of the reason why I'm like, oh, I really want a big family, but I'm like, it's not the same anyway. So I don't know how you do it with all of else because, but yeah, community is important and similar to Chloe, my sisters. So my sisters are my best friends. Today I was like, oh, I need childcare. Yo, sis, can I drop the kids to you because that hobbies, whatever it is. So I don't think I can live without my sisters or my community. And it's to similar to Chloe's point, raising kids in this generation, it's so different. So now, like with my older sisters, kids that are in their 20s or I'm like, hey guys, like, how did you find school and A levels and is university? So it's almost just like leaning on them for informational gaps that I don't necessarily know, or things have changed so much from a schooling perspective or extracurriculum or being a black girl, and you've got Elsa and all of it. Like, there's just so many things. I'm always like having to have conversations with them to stay informed of how to raise the kids. Because again, like, you don't want to get it wrong. And with this social media era, I find that's my biggest challenge. Because I'm not really, that was never really our thing. Whereas now, my daughter's like 5. She's like, Mom, I want to take a selfie. I'm like, I don't even do it. Like, so where are you seeing this thing? Yeah, exactly. I'm like, come and teach me pose sort of thing. So I say that to say it's important to learn from the older generation, but especially that, what are they, Gen Zs, Gen Zs, whatever they are. Yeah. Gen something alphas, you know, the alphas. The alphas are going to be alpha males and alpha females. So I say that to say that the middle generations, what I'm pulling information from a lot more to make sure that I'm raising them. So that's my community from a family perspective. In terms of outside of what we do, I think just reaching out to another lost mom or people just like, hey, like I'm really struggling with this, or my daughter's getting a bit older and she's talking about, I know a lot more, how do I deal with that? Just being able to speak to people that have gone through that journey already is also really important.
So you've both mentioned organisations that you founded, co-founded, led, built, that being 5 times more and You Are Loved.
I don't know if it's an organisation, but you guys keep speaking this into existence.
My question is, what would you say would be your legacy?
I think 5 times more, you know. I think getting the government to put a target to black women dying, I think that will have to be the legacy. Can't think of anything else.
I think, well, I don't know. I haven't thought about that. But I think it's more, mine would definitely be this power in being vulnerable. And just remembering that you are loved. Like, I know that name came about in various ways, but remembering that all of our children are loved, but equally we are loved as well. And that's like, when I see it, it's like, people are like, oh, what do you mean by you are loved? Like, you are loved. Like, whether you're loved by your angel baby or your family, your friends, like, self-love is important, but equally, like, there are people around you that love you. So that's kind of...
Just give the viewers one piece of advice, or mothers, piece of advice or encouragement,
to mothers or people trying to enter motherhood.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. This advice is going to be a bit... Because what I'm going to say is, take everyone's advice with a pinch of salt. And that's why I didn't want to give advice to say
that's true. That's true. That's true.
Everyone has something to say.
Yes.
Take what works for you and just say thank you for the things that don't work for you. I think the older generation, I'm saying our mums, our older sisters and our aunties always will have something to say. So I remember my son used to cry a lot. My mum would be like, give him Cerelac and add rice thing to it. He's hungry. And I was like, no, but that's not it. It's too sweet. And I realised I was getting into arguments. So then I just started saying, okay, mum, yes. I just didn't do it. I just said, okay, mum, yes. So take what works for you. And the rest just say thank you to it.
It's interesting. At work, they've got this analogy that feedback is a gift. So do you know when someone gives you a present at Christmas?
Yeah.
You can unwrap the gift. If you like it, you play with the gift. If you don't like it, what do? You just pull it under the table and just be like, thank you, I really like the gift.
It.
That's exactly what, when you were saying that's exactly what comes to mind. But similar to that advice, I think follow your instincts. We underestimate our gut instincts as mothers, as women, as wives. Follow it. And people say gut instincts, the voice of God, whatever it is, but your intuition leads you so much more to places that I think are beneficial for you as a person and your child, that never underestimate it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
I've learned a lot today, actually. I actually have more questions to ask, but I think
We'll do part 2.
but no, we're very grateful for coming today to speak to us. We've actually learned a lot from you, and I guess those things that maybe we may not have experienced them personally, but people who are viewing would have gone through that. Be it loss or be it just bringing up children in this area, in this community. It's not easy. But I just want to thank you, because you guys have shown that you are not just courageous, but you're bold, you're strong women, you're advocates. And really, through the work you're doing, you mentioned your co-founder having a dream, being led by God, your experiences being led, him being your strength, pushing you through, bringing out new ideas, bringing out organization, things to benefit not just yourselves, but people who may have no one, have no support, have no education, no advice. So you guys are building your own legacies, and I'm very grateful for both of you for that. So I just want to say thank you again for joining us today, and just thank you for making a change in this country and beyond. and beyond. But yeah, we've learned so much today, and
Thank you for having us.
I'm very grateful.
Thank
you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Like we clap.